Alrighty, hello everyone, incredible greetings. Alright, I'm just trying to set this up real quick. I gotta move this out of the way. There we go. So that I can move it over here and make sure that you guys can hear me. Alright, give me a moment. I just need to share this out real quick. All right, so we are on the right setting. We just need to share it out now. All right. All right. Had to get that all shared out. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome in. All right, let me just finish getting this shared out and we are going to get started. Now, I will say it's going to be really hard for me to see some of your comments because this monitor is going to be so far away. And as you can see, I'm going to be kind of on the other side of the room, not in front of my computer like I normally am. So it might be a little bit harder for me to see your comments, but know that I will come over here. I'll probably be able to see like my TikTok ones a little bit better, but I won't be forgetting about you guys. But this is also another, I'm sharing it with you guys, but the main focus is me building up over on TikTok. So give me a moment. We're going to share this out. Oh, not share to a profile. Share option, share to a group. I forget where I just shared this at. Okay, I think that is everywhere that this is supposed to be at. Okay. All right, before I go live over on TikTok, let's just say hello to a few folk. Hello, hello, hello. Incredible greetings. Thank you guys so very much for jumping on. Hello, hello. Thank you guys for watching. All right. So hopefully that's going to send out. Incredible greetings, incredible greetings. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in. All right. So we're going to go over some things that you can sublimate. All right. Let me set up my feed over here. Oh, wait. Let me take out my earbuds. I don't need this. Okay. All right, there we go. Oh, yeah, it's going to be really hard for me to see y'all's. Okay, I might have to turn this monitor around. Whoa, don't fall. Hold on, y'all. Let me fix this monitor and bring this over here. And I might be able to see them better. Okay, there we go. Incredible greetings. Hello, hello, hello. Incredible greetings, incredible greetings. All right, let's get started. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everyone. Okay, now I have this set up. So I'm hopefully both can see me well because I have that one set up. First time I'm doing it from this angle. So, hello, everyone. I am Shakia, the professor of HSINK365. So HSINK vibes only. So HSINK365. We are the home of the Honestly Speaking brand of products. We carry the absolute best sublimation paper, sublimation ink, and some other products, which because I'm here, I can't mention them all because they're not on our TikTok shop. But we do have some amazing products, and I teach you guys how to use our products with designing in Silhouette Studio. So it's a free software. Even if you don't have a Cameo machine, you can still use Silhouette Studio to design. All right. You can still use Silhouette Studio to design. So I teach you guys how to do that. Okay, it is on the right. It's on the microphone. Okay. So I teach you guys how to do that as well. So you can check that out. I'm going to have something for you guys over here on the TikTok shop for those who are interested in learning how to design. Come back and check back on Monday. We're going to have something for you guys as well. Because like right now I can't technically mention, how you can learn from our platforms. But today we're going to go over things that you can sublimate. All right. I'm going to talk a little bit about what the sublimation process is, what you're going to need, which is our sublimation paper, the ink, and then you'll need substrates and things of that nature. Then we're going to go through a couple of things that you can sublimate. There's so many options. So when someone goes and says, hey, they want to get into sublimation, and people talk about like niches or sticking like with your market and things of that nature, or adding additional streams of income, like when you add additional streams, you don't have to necessarily go like to the extreme when you do that. There's a lot of things within sublimation. So you don't have to really do sublimation and vinyl and this, that, and the third. Like you can do a lot with sublimation. So we're going to review some of those things today. I'm not pressing anything. I'm just kind of showing you guys some things that we've already done with sublimation. Just to kind of give you an idea. And if you have any questions about any of these items, feel free to go ahead and ask. All of the items that I'm going to show you guys have been sublimated with Honestly Speaking sublimation paper. All of the items that you're going to see, they have been sublimated with Honestly Speaking sublimation paper. With this particular paper, the industry standard, excuse me, is 400 degrees, 60 seconds. That's like when people are new to sublimation, a lot of the trainings and things that you would get, you may do some searching on the internet. How it was taught to crafters was 400 degrees, 60 seconds. When it comes to this on a commercial level, a lot of commercial companies aren't using those high of attempts and that long because they want to be able to produce more. But on a crafter level, 400 degrees, 60 seconds was kind of the norm, and it's what's taught. It also kind of leaves like less room for error. But with our sublimation paper, you are able to sublimate as low as 365 degrees, hence HSINK365. It's HS for Honestly Speaking, and then the ink is for the ink. So that's how that plays together. If you want to know like where this HSE comes from, if this is Honestly Speaking, HS, and then the ink, and then 365 is what you can, the temperature that you can sublimate. I've actually gone lower than that. I really need to update my thumbnail because I think it still says 360 for 20 seconds or 25 seconds. On my Hottronics, I really can do 360 for 20, 25 seconds. but a good round number where no matter which heat press you have, 365, 30 seconds is what we recommend that that be your starting point. Depending on your heat press, you may have to go up to maybe 370 or maybe press it longer. You can do 365, but you may have to do 45 seconds instead of 30 seconds. You'll have to figure that part out for yourself, but I can guarantee you won't have to do 400 degrees for 60 seconds, and you're going to get great results with our sublimation paper, okay? So this is the first thing, and you can check if you're over on TikTok. You can click on the shopping bag. Our paper comes in 4 different sizes. We have 8.5 by 11. This is for anyone with a small format Epson desktop printer. So if you have an EcoTank, 2400, 2300, 2803, 4700, 4800, like any of those, they are 8.5 inches wide. If you have a Sawgrass 500 or the 400, you can use this size paper. If you have the Epson Sure Color F170, you can use this size paper. Contrary to popular belief, a lot of people think when you have those printers, you can only use 8.5 by 11. No, you can also use 8.5 by 14-inch paper on all of those printers that I just listed. So any of the EcoTank 28, 23, 24, 27, any of those small format ones, the F170, and the Sawgrass 500 or 400, you can use either of these sizes of paper. This one will give you more bang for your buck. We're going to talk about some of the smaller items like memorial cards. Where did it go? Okay, I had all my little stuff up here ready to go, and now I can't find my memorial card. Oh, Lord. Okay, where did my memorial card go? All right, as I'm going through stuff, I'm pretty sure I'll find it because I had it up here. I don't know where that sucker went. We also did some buttons via sublimation yesterday. You can do that also and be able to put more than one. All right, I don't see the printed one. However, this is a stainless steel version of that memorial, like of that card that can be sublimated. These are business cards. They can be used as business cards. They can be used as loyalty cards. They can be used at, and here's the white one. Loyalty cards, business cards, memorial cards. They also have like bookmarks. If you just use the 8.5 by 11, you're doing an order for these, right? There's only so many that you will be able to fit on this. But when you do the 8.5 by 14, you are able to get at least one more row of these cards or even turn them sideways. So for just literally a few pennies more, you technically can print out more on this. So sometimes this comes in handy. If you're just doing tumblers, yeah, of course, this is going to be the most cost efficient one because you're not going to waste a lot of paper. But if you have if you want to bundle up things, you can fit a full tumbler wrap on this, but you can also fit some smaller items on this as well. Okay, you can fit smaller items as well on here. Maybe they wanted a tumbler and a keychain, or you may make some earrings. So here is like a little keychain. So that would be, you'll be able to put that at the bottom with your tumbler. So this is a great way to bundle items and be able to save money because it's only going to cost you a few pennies more, but then the profit margin goes up because you have those smaller items. So don't sleep on the 8.5 by 14. It has a purpose. It's good to have at least one pack of this in your stash, okay? So both of these can be used for any small format printer, they can also be used for the large format printer. Just because you have a printer that can print 11 by 17 or 13 by 19, it's good to still have this on hand, because if you have just one tumbler to do, like a one-off, you may not want to go through the hassle of cutting down 11 by 17 sheet of paper or 13 by 19. And sometimes you just need smaller paper. If you're doing something for a shirt for kids, you don't have, like, let's say you have an adult shirt and a youth shirt to make. You don't want to have to waste a whole 11 by 17 or 13 by 19, try and keep up with the little scrap pieces. You can just put that on the appropriate size paper. So, oh, it's backwards? Okay, sorry. I don't know why. Last time, see, now it says mirroring off, so I don't know what happened with that. Thank you for that. So you can use both of these on those. Now, if you have a large format printer, okay, you have a large format. We also carry the paper in tabloid and Super D. Oh God, this is heavy. So we have it in tabloid and Super B as well. This is for, like, these can be used in your EcoTank 15,000, 8550, Epson EcoTank 16600, 16650. You can technically still use the sheets. If you have smaller projects, you don't want to use the full 24-inch roll. You don't have anything to take up that full 24 inches. You can use the sheet on your F570. You can also use this with the Sawgrass 1000. With the Sawgrass 1000, you are only able to use up to 11 by 17 without a bypass tray. Without a bypass tray, you can only use this size. A lot of people will advertise that you, or just say, like in groups, well, if you want to print 13 by 19, you can get the Sawgrass SG 1000. But if you get that, you have to buy the bypass tray in order to do 13 by 19. You must use the purchase. So it doesn't come with it. You have to purchase an additional piece of equipment, okay, in order to use the 13 by 19 on the Sawgrass, okay? So my question, I just purchased the paper. I didn't keep the packaging. Do I have to use blowout? No, you do not. So if you are just pressing a shirt, you do not have to use butcher paper on the back. It will not bleed through. Now, if you are doing something and you are doing a full bleed on it, so where is our sheet of paper here? So if you're doing a full bleed on something, this area here, that ink, or that, so when it gasses out, it needs somewhere to go. So of course, on the bottom, you're going to need to put butcher paper to catch the bleed, but it does not go through the back, okay? It does not go through the back. If you're doing tumblers and you are using a tumbler press or a mug press, no, you do not need to put the butcher paper on it, because if you have the paper that bleeds out, you always have to put butcher paper so that you don't get the design on your heating element. With our paper, it will not bleed out. Now, if you do not protect, so some people asked before, some people will say, okay, well, I don't put anything on my ends. I only tape my seams, and they're using a tumbler press. Well, if you don't protect and like you don't close off the seams, this can gas off, right? If your design is going right to the edge, even with our paper, if your design is going right to the edge and you press this and it has like a way of escape, or like that gas and that ink kind of spews out the ends, that can get on your tumbler press and mess it up. Which is why when I'm teaching, I still recommend that you tape your ends, even if you're using a tumbler press. Still tape your ends to keep it from gassing out the front or the back and then getting on your heat press. But as far as this area, no, you will not have to worry about that anymore. She says the ink release is astounding. Yes. Yes, I learned the hard way. Luckily, I was still under warranty. Yeah, so you do. Oh, thank you for the heart me. And I think that means that you joined our subscription. I'm actually going to be doing some things for those who subscribe. We're going to have some special content for you guys as well, okay? So you don't have to worry about that. Gone are the days of having to have that extra paper for tumblers, okay? TGIF, thank God it's Incredible Friday. Yes, I love that. That's the only size I order. Good evening, and so your paper will burn. Oh, she says at 400 degrees, you're going to burn some ish with our paper. Yes, you definitely will. All right. So again, if you have any of the large format printers, whether it's a workforce printer, 7820, 7840, 7310, 7210, 7720, 7710, 7610, 7720, 7110, Artisan 1430. I think I just named all of the large format color printers. That's all of them. If it like for cartridge based printers that print 13 by 19. You also have the 7750, which is a cartridge based. I think that's the expression one, but that only goes up to 11 by 17. So any of the wide format ones, any of the workforces, if you still have the old Artisan, or if you have an EcoTank 16600, 16650, 8550 or 15,000, you are able to use all four sizes of the paper. Okay, the 8550 is my best friend. I mean, it's good for some people. I'm not a big fan of EcoTanks. I really don't like EcoTank printers. But that one, the print quality is great. Now, as a photo printer, I have someone who does party favors and they use it and they absolutely love it. All right, so that's the paper. The other thing that we're going to talk about when it comes to doing sublimation, and like I'm going to break down like when you would use the different sizes of heat tape. So I don't think y'all can really see it. I'm going to tilt this down some. Okay, so we have different sizes of heat tape. I'm going to go ahead and pin that to the bottom because we're talking about the heat tape now. Okay, so when it comes to the heat tape, we offer 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, 4, and 6. These are all the sizes we offer. 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inches, 6 inches. You may think that you don't need this many sizes. There will, depending on the type of project that you're going to do, these will come in handy, especially everything that's on this wrist, okay? This one, maybe kind of, sort of, but we have some good friends over at the Blank Spot when they've done like large banners or large, tablecloths. When they want to really hold it down, they're using our large ones. So they sell the smaller sizes, but when it comes to the larger ones, they'll get those from us. And this, they'll use these to hold down heavier items or bigger items. They'll use these right here. The more surface space you have, the better it's going to hold. So whenever I'm doing like plaques and awards, which is really, really thick, I like to use the thicker tape if I have to tape it down. You use that thin tape, it's just going to come up. It's not going to hold anything. So for longer items, heavier items, you want to use thicker tapes. So this arm right here is like the go-to sizes. 1/2 inch for certain. I barely use this one, except for, actually, you know what I use this one? Pretty much only when I'm doing like the sublimation cards or bookmarks, I'll use this one. But normally I'm using the 1 inch and the 2 inch. These are like my go-tos. But a lot of people use the 1/2 inch one, especially if they want to just go around the top. If you are a tumbler user with a tumbler press, a lot of them will use the 1/2 inch just to seal the top edge, okay? So let's see. I started with the 7720. It's collecting dust as a huge paperweight. It stopped printing. So if you would have found me, I guarantee you I would have helped you get that printer back up and running, as long as it wasn't something with your motherboard or like your a lot of people think that their print head is out. I've helped so many people. I've had people who would get a printer that hasn't been printed on in years, and they got it from like a thrift store or things like that, and they go through my method and it's back working and it prints beautiful. So I'm personally a workforce gal. I prefer workforce over them anytime. You make them in an oven. I was wondering about that. Yes. So today I found out that I'm trending in a group because yes, I sub my tumblers in my home oven. You want to find out how? I'm gonna talk about this. Double tap, double tap. If you want to find out and understand how you can also sub your tumblers in your regular home oven. I do major orders. I don't have time. If I have an order of 25, 50 tumblers, what I don't have time for is to be doing them in no small oven or no tumbler press. I can do 15 to 20 tumblers at a time in my large oven, my large range oven. So yes, I am the chick that they're talking about in the groups that says I'm the crazy one for subbing in my oven. All right, so we're going to talk about that. All right. She says, yes, they were very pressed about that. Love the shirt. So as you can see, you can also sublimate to certain colors. You are not limited to just white. Okay. You had lighting and it did something in the power surge. Okay. But yeah, you can sublimate 2 colors as well. All right. Let's see. No questions over here. So these are the heat tapes. And let's go through some of these substrates and talk about when you would use which size paper and which size heat tape, okay? So, let's see. Let's just start here. Of course, tumblers. When it comes to tumblers, the ideal size paper is going to be 8.5 by 11 for a 20-ounce tumbler. Because on average, your template is 9 by 9.35 to maybe 9.45, depending on how much overlap you want, by 8 to 8.25, 8.15. But that would still fit on an 8.5-inch sheet of paper. So typically you're using 8.5 inches and the 11 inches one. I sometimes print it because I actually purchased, I prefer the 8.5 by 14. So I allocated 8.5 by 14 for most of the things that we do. So sometimes I'm kind of wasting the bottom. But 8.5 by 11, 8.5 by 14. If you have a wide format printer, you're doing a lot of tumblers. Of course, the 11 by 17 is going to be your best friend. All right, 11 by 17 is going to be your best friend if you do a lot of tumblers and you have a wide format printer, because you can fit 2 on here. And you, it's like what? I think it's only like a 10-cent difference instead of spending like 20 cents for instead of spending 20 cents for each 8.5 by 11 to do 2 tumblers, which would be 40 cents. With the price of our paper, you're paying 33 cents for the paper, and you can basically get 2 for 33 cents instead of 40 cents. Okay, so 11 by 17 is what I recommend if you do a lot of tumblers and you actually do have a wide format. Don't just keep printing on the 8.5 by 11. Also, when you are doing tumblers, I like to keep my 1 inch. A lot of people ask about this. The next time around, we may get the 1.5. When it comes to these dispensers, they are 1.5. Like it fits 1.5. So you can put a 1 inch and a 1/2 inch on here, which is why we sell that as a bundle. So you can put both of those on here. It's just that hopefully you're using both of them, because as you turn it, the 1/2 inch is going to be there also. So if you don't need it, yes, it seems like a waste, but it's for the 1 inch tape. That's what goes on here. That's usually what I'm using for this. So I do a lot of tumblers. I always keep my 1 inch tape on one of these types of dispensers, or you can put it on like a traditional tape dispenser. So I'm normally using the 1 inch tape, and then I personally also use this tape. All right, so I'm normally using this tape and this tape whenever I'm doing tumblers. 8.5 by 11, 8.5 by 14, 11 by 17, 1 inch heat tape, and then this tape is what you would need if you were doing tumblers. Okay. If you're doing mugs, with the way that this template is set up, you can technically do 2 mugs on 8.5 by 11 inch paper. So we're still talking about 8.5 by 11, which I don't know where it went. But you can do 2 mug templates, even if it's a full wrap mug. I don't have my full wrap mug over here. But if you're doing a full wrap, you can fit 2 on an 8.5 by 11 inch. So with this one, this is a lot of times where I'm using the smaller one. I did say on the other ones, but I do use my small one on this because it's easier to use the small one when I am taping across here. And then to get right close to the handle, I like to use this one. The thinner one has a little bit more stretch to it than the bigger ones. So when I really want to pull that tight, or if I want to like wrap around the handle, I'm using the 1/2 inch because it has a little bit more stretch to it than the 1 or any of the other sizes. So if I'm doing mugs, I'm normally using this, okay? I'm using one of these 2 whenever I'm doing mugs. Now, if I'm doing them in an oven, now these I use just to, like I'm doing a full wrap. Actually, you know what? I have one. It's my very first full wrap, so it does have some ghosting on it. Don't judge me, okay? This does have some ghosting on it because it was my very first full wrap mug. But it was for my husband, him and his Thundercats, which he's never gotten to use it because I always use it for demos. But this was before I perfected my template. This was before I perfected the template. But this right here is a full wrap. All right, you can go all the way under the handle. I have one that's better than that. It's a pink one for breast cancer, but I have no idea where it's at. So whenever I'm doing those, I'm using the 1/2 inch along the top in here. I like to take up more surface space, so I'm normally using the 1 inch. It's easier to get that in there to tape down the seams. So that's how I tape that down. But you have to have pressure. Even though that tape is there, it's just not enough pressure. Whenever I am putting it in a mug press, I will take the 1/2 inch and go around the top and the bottom. If I'm doing a full bleed design, I take this and go around the top and bottom to make sure that it's nice and tight. And again, that gas doesn't come out. If I'm doing it in an oven, I have mug wraps for pressure, right? If I'm doing a whole lot of them, mug wraps can be very expensive. So I don't typically tend to use them if I'm doing a large order of mugs. This is where my 4-inch tape comes in at, okay? If I'm doing a bunch of mugs, instead of using a bunch of clamps, because they're more expensive, if I have to do 20 mugs, I don't really want to have to buy 20 of those, and it's not often that I might be doing that many. And I don't have a mug press, because there's some mug press you can do like 5, you can do 10 mugs at a time. So whenever I'm doing a large order of mugs, I like to use my 4-inch tape because I place it here and I pull it really tight to get around it. That's what creates my pressure. I throw all them suckers in the oven and I'm able to do a batch of mugs all at one time. So this is why I like my 4. That's why I said this one you may or may not use if you don't do a lot of mugs. But that 3-inch, 1/2 inch, all the way to the 3 inches, those are most sold. And then those who do certain projects opt for the 4 and the 6. So I personally like to use it whenever I'm doing a lot of mugs, okay? All right. Unfortunately, I can't talk about that on this because I'm on TikTok, Felicia, so I can't talk about that during this live. Y'all feel free to email us, though. I use the same air fryer oven that I cook in. And hallelujah. Let's see what's over here. Are you talking about subbing in your cooking oven? Technically, yes. So I will go over that, but yes, the same oven that I cook in is the same ones that I can make my tumblers in and my mugs. But if you want the 7720 printer for parts, I have a bunch of them for parts. Because I have some that have gone out. I use it for sublimation, and I have a set that I use for pigment ink. So I've had a few that kind of went out. So yeah, I got plenty of them for parts. But that's the tape, right? So for mugs, we use that. Now, other things that you can do. Now they say that this is on the rise, and we may have to go back. So if you want to still kind of sell some of these customized ones, you have these, all right? Designed this in Silhouette Studio. Made my template using my Epson printer, and then designed this to where look at how even that border is around it. All right. So being able to do that in Silhouette Studio, and then with this, you can fit multiples on either 8.5 by 11 or the wider paper. Whenever I'm doing these, I like to use a little bit of tape. I may use 1/2 inch or 1 inch when it comes to things like this. All right, this is a baby bib that can be sublimated. And there's a lot of different baby items that you can group together and make custom bundles where you're just selling them, or if you're somebody that wants to purchase them as gifts, there are quite a few different baby type items that you can get and you can bundle together. So you have that. I'm going to come over here. You have mouse pads that you can do. You can do them in solid colors. Not sure if you guys see on TikTok, they always say there's like a battle between the color girlies, purple and pink. Some people just like things that are colored. Doesn't have to be custom. A lot of people, when they get into sublimation, they want to customize. You can go and get pre-made files, even just solid colors. If they can't find their perfect shade of like pink in store, that's where you guys come in at. This right here for a mouse pad. Oh, I put it right here. You can do a round mouse pad on 8.5 inch paper. You can do the standard square one on 8.5 inch wide paper. So there's a lot of things that you guys can do on the small paper. People think because they have a small format printer, they are limited. There's so much more that you can do other than just shirts. All right, shirts and tumblers are not the only thing. So a standard mouse pad will fit on the 8.5 by 11 inch paper. Whenever I'm doing this, because of the thickness of it, so you guys can see how thick that is. That thin tape, the moment you go to flip it over, it's going to come loose. And then if that tape comes off and it gets underneath. How many of you guys have ever experienced that? If you've ever done, whether it's a mouse pad or anything, you tape it and then you flip it. You don't realize that the tape came loose and then it was technically on the inside. So when you go and you take off your paper, you have a big white rectangle because your tape went on underneath your paper. So this, because it's thicker, if you use the thin tape and you have to flip it, you got to be very careful with flipping that thing, okay? If not, this will come loose, right? Even this one, because of the texture of the back of this, sometimes this doesn't give it enough grip, the 1 inch. So most times when I'm doing mouse pads, now I'll say when I'm doing videos, this is like the easiest thing, and it's easy to just kind of turn it and grab them, but I have to use a lot of these when I'm doing mouse pads. But when I'm doing just orders, I have a regular tape dispenser that has like all of the different sizes on it. I use this and I will tape it down. Okay, so I use spray to hold it, doesn't affect print, same spray as the silkscreen tack. Yeah, so some people are okay with that. Me personally, I don't like the off spray of it. I have a lot of stuff in here, and even when you try to be as careful as possible, sometimes, I'll put it down in my trash can, but it goes up. I don't like all of that going on the surfaces, so I personally prefer not to spray in my workspace. Now, if it's something like really, really big, I will sometimes spray. I'll take it outside of the room, really take it outside of the house, and I will spray. But I personally am someone, I do not like spraying spray adhesive in my workspace. So I prefer to use tape, but it does work, okay? It's so much to learn. It is, but that's what I'm here for. That's what the professor is here for. I teach this day in, day out. I have a passion for this. Don't talk about my dirty mouse pad because I actually ended up, I was using this one and then I did it in a demo. So yeah, it has stuff on, but you can wash these. But I love this. I teach it day in, day out. So you are in the right place. Just make sure that you go ahead and hit follow if you have not done so already. Turn the bell on so that you're notified whenever I go live. But this is what I teach all day, every day. Everything from designing to how to actually produce these, how to create proper templates so that your design fits right in the middle and you can control where your design goes on all of these substrates if it's something where it has a specific design to it. Now, if it's just something like this, you know, you don't really need a template for it because it's just a large pattern. All right. Okay, the next thing that we have, well, I have this one here. So these are some little NDF plaques. They're not really big, but they're cute. I've used these. I've given them away as teacher's gifts. So teacher appreciation is coming up. This is a great way to, instead of just like giving out mugs, I'm pretty sure the teachers and things are tired of the mugs. They probably have a 30,000 mugs and tumblers. Give them things that they're going to be useful for them. So I've made plenty of these little placards for teachers. I've used these for memorial things where they can have the information, especially they have a QR code for the program. They'll scan it for that. I've had businesses use these for pop-up shops and have their QR code on it. I've had businesses just order them. I've had people have these as awards. So it comes apart and it's great for shipping. You can have instruct them to use some glue, and then they can glue that in, and it will be permanently affixed because I mean, if the kid touches it for a teacher, it does come out fairly easily. But they can glue this down. So I've had people order this as awards and little plaques, like for cheer teams, for achievements. I've actually had companies also order these as well. So these little placards can be sublimated. And guess what? Even if you have a small format printer, you can do both parts on 8.5 by 11. A lot of times you guys think that you are limited when you have these small printers. You are not. There are so many substrates that you can use with the small printers, okay? So this will fit on 8.5 by 11. When it comes to this is another one of those things where it has some thickness to it, and this is MDF. This small tape, you will be taping this up and putting tape everywhere. It may seem like, okay, well, this tape is kind of expensive. You can't think of it like you're going to treat this thicker tape the same way you would do this. When you're using the smaller tape, yes, you have to use a lot of tape. But when you have the thicker ones, you can use less tape. So you're instantly going to be saving. You don't have to put so much tape when you use the proper size tape. Okay? So with this one, I'm typically using either 1 or 2. Actually, the 3 is good for this too. Like if you really want to just kind of like put one, especially for this, one straight piece across, you can use that for that one, okay? Put this back right here. Okay. Other things that you can do. Canvases. All right. This is laminated. This was made... We've been 3 years. This was made 4 years ago. This is actually one of the first things I made. So this is probably like 3 years old. I didn't make this before we got our paper. I think I made this right when we got our paper. I think it was one of the first things that we made. So it's anywhere from 3 to 4 years old, and it's held up. This is laminated. So the canvas is laminated, and then you press your design to it. So you can do this as well. I typically don't have to use tape when I'm doing this. You're not going to always use tape. Some people teach and it's like, okay, you always need heat tape. Some people tape down every single thing, especially with our paper, because of the way that it is made. you don't get a lot of shift. You're not going to get a lot of ghosting. Some people tape to prevent ghosting and prevent it from shifting. Ours, you really don't have that issue all too often. If you watch any of my demo videos, you'll see that I really don't use a lot of tape. It's certain things, like if I have like a bunch of items, or if I have to like flip it, like the plaques. But stuff like this, I'll have it, I'll just place my print, and then I'll just press. So that's the colors on that, which I guess is not, okay, there we go. I'm gonna hold it back for y'all because my ring light is over there. So right now the color isn't as great as it usually is over on Facebook and the other one. So, all right. So you can do this in 8.5 by 11. You are not limited. You can do these if you have 8.5 by 11 on paper. All right. I'm going to grab one that's on a stick already. Hold on, I got on the other side. All right. Now, if you have a regular inkjet printer, you can use a regular inkjet printer. All right. Let me tell you why I like to use Sublimation for these. So whether it is for graduation, if it is for a wedding, like if it's for games, you want to make paddles for that. Maybe you can make them for teachers, make them for families, like letters, to teach them letters and numbers. But I do like to use them for my graduation bands and things of that nature, okay? I would go between Sublimation and then my rolling. The reason why I like to use Sublimation, some people may feel as if, okay, well, I have a regular inkjet printer, I have glossy paper, I can print it out on that. Why would I want to print it out on a piece of Sublimation paper, use laminate, and then use cardstock, and then have to use electricity? I don't know which printer everyone else uses. I use Epson Workforce printers. Whenever I print on regular paper and I print it on the high setting, like premium matte or photo glossy, especially for something this size, it takes a really long time to print. It would take anywhere from 8 to 10 minutes on those settings to print something this large with this much color, okay? And I'm using more ink. This was printed with plain paper setting. I use the same setting every single time. What's pinned right now? I think it's the tape. All right, so we're going to pin the paper because we're talking about the paper right now. So I use plain paper setting with our Sublimation paper. So I'm able to print that out. And you know what happens? That prints faster. In the time that it will take for me to print one of these on photo glossy or premium matte with my Epson 7720 on glossy paper, I could have printed and pressed a whole lot more of these because it only takes 30 seconds. 30 seconds with Honesty Speaking paper. All right. So it's going to take maybe like 1 or 2 minutes to print out. I normally, because I do a lot with the laminate and cardstock, I normally have a lot of those pre-prepped. I did a video once before where I was just on talking and I was actually prepping a bunch of cardstock ahead of time. I have those just available. When I need them, I print it out. That's a 1 minute print compared to an 8 to 10 minute print, and then 30 seconds to press it. So I prefer this. And also the colors to me are so much better with the Sublimation version on the laminate than the glossy paper. It is so much better in my opinion. Okay. Thanks for the info about the tape because I was baffled as to why my tape ended up on my item. Yep. That's because you're using the thinner tape and doesn't have enough surface space to hold it in place. I would love those for pop-ups. And she has that tacky paper for fabrics. It's as amazing as she says. Hey, darling. Let's see. Okay, I think I went through everything else. All right, let's see over here. That looks great to me. I've done that and didn't know it was the tape. Thanks. Okay. Where do you get the blanks for the plaques? Can't talk about that right now. Ask that when I'm on live just with you guys. All right. Okay, that was the other one. So I use it for these items, and to hold it down, I do use my 1-inch tape whenever I am subbing to this, because when you laminate it, it will roll. So you do want to kind of hold that down. So I use a couple of pieces of 1-inch tape when I'm doing these. Okay. So that's something else that you can sublimate. Did you guys know that you can make your grab fans with sublimation? Have any of you tried making your grab fans with laminated cardstock? All right. I'm going to take a break right now because I've talked enough about the products. They get kind of antsy when you don't talk about the products. So we're going to talk real quick about what you guys see on the screen right here. I mean, on the board. Is there a tutorial on how to do those things that you were just holding up? Yes, I have tutorials for everything. You are in the right place. So not on this platform. You can find those on the social media app that is more for long format videos. So you should know what that is, okay? All right, so this right here, let's talk about this, and then we're going to go back into talking about the products. I'm going to turn my shop off for just a moment. So if you would like to purchase something, don't worry. It's going to come back up. Don't leave. I'm just going to take those off so the shopping cart is gone so that I can talk about this right here, okay? Yes, I sub tumblers in my home oven. The same oven. Somebody said, well, maybe she don't cook. Baby, your girl throw down, okay? That's what look, I eat out, but my husband, he throws a couple pounds because your girl be cooking, okay? I cooks, all right? So I have used it in the same oven. Here is our workspace. So I'll be very transparent. Do we cook often in that particular oven that is here? No. But this is a family home. So we are inside of a house. It's a lot less expensive than going and renting commercial space, especially when you're first starting out. You're not ready for them commercial bills as far as lights, utilities, internet, all that. They charge you more when it's a business and it's in a commercial space. So if you're able to, go ahead, rent you out a house, okay, like we did, and it'll save you some money until you're ready for a commercial space, but it takes you out of your primary residence. That's a little pro tip for you, okay? So there is an oven here at our house. Our house is a bit older. When we moved in there, it was a 23-inch oven that looks like it's been there since it looks like it belongs on the set of the Brady Bunch, okay? It was not given anything. But where it is, we can't just put another oven there because they don't make them size ovens anymore that's going to fit in that slot. So we don't have a full-size oven at our house because our stove is a gas stove and underneath is cabinets. So it's not a full-on range, and we don't want to lose our cabinet space. So we have the countertop ovens. The large ones, it works well. It's only me, my husband's only my 12-year, well, now he's 12. So we didn't really need a big oven. We weren't making like these humongous meals. If I did need that, I'd go to my mama's house, go to my grandmother's house. So we have the small one. It works for us. I cooked big old hands now. You can fit a full pan of macaroni and cheese. You can put a full pizza in there. So it is what we use. That thing look a hotmess.com, which is why y'all never see me really use that one, because stuff, it looks used. It looks like good food was cooked in it. It got burnt cheese on the bottom, okay? So you don't really see me use that one. When I was at home and I was doing my tutorials, I wrap it. I tell y'all I'm going to go put it in the oven. Very rare that you see me go in there because it looks like an oven, if you get my drift, okay? It's used. It got food on it. But I put tumblers in that one. The oven that's here, I used to come here when I had big orders. Before we started using this as a workspace, I've come to this location and I've put tumblers in there because who is about to do 2 to 3, 4, 5, 2 to 3 tumblers at a time? And I need to do 20 of them. No, I used to come here and put it in there. So we still use this one. We don't have a big oven. So whenever I have big pots and things to make, big pans, I come here and I still cook in it. So yes, we still cook in it. Is it our everyday cooking one? No. However, my one that is everyday, when I was working from out of the house, I was using it all the time and I was sublimating in that oven. There is nothing toxic about the sublimation process. If it was toxic, you would not be able to make any of these items on an open flatbed printer because those same toxins would affect you. Okay? If you felt sublimation was toxic, you would not be sublimating any of these items on an open press. Now, if you are someone who, when you are doing your sublimation on an open press, you wear PPE gear, you wear a ventilator and things of that nature, then I can understand you wanting to have a separate one for the fumes and having it down in your basement or in your craft space, because that is what you need, because you need to wear a ventilator, you need to wear a mask, you have to do all this stuff whenever you're using an open bed press. If you're using a mug press, if you're using a tumbler press, those gases still exist. These gases are not selective and say, I'm not going to stick to your wall. I'm not going to stick to your whiteboard. I only so if you're on an open bed press, if I had my tumbler press right here, I go and I press it. The gases are not selected to say, well, I'm not going to stick to this. I'm not going to stick to this surface. I'm not going to stick to this. I only want to jump on and hold onto the inside of ovens. And I am greedy. I am some greedy gas. And I'm going to wait for the perfect time when you put food in your oven. And I'm going to jump out and I'm going to contaminate your food. That don't sound crazy to y'all? All these people who are up in arms about the fact that I was on here saying that I sublimate in my oven that I cook in, that don't sound crazy to y'all? Doing sublimation on an open bed press where you are standing at the press, your head is there, you lift it up, all those top coming back at you. That don't sound crazy? Maybe it's just me. Y'all let me know. Hearing it out loud. Say it to yourself. Does that sound normal? Like, does that not sound crazy that you can press all of this stuff that I showed? You can press all of this on a regular press. You can press all of this and you're going to stand in front of that press. You don't have no ventilation. You don't have any of this stuff. You're not worried about it being toxic when you're doing any of this stuff. But it automatically becomes toxic when you're doing this. Now, some people may say, oh, it's because it's metal, it's for coating, it's for this, it's for that. Okay, wait, where'd it go? I have some pieces that are metal, like my... Where the heck did it go? I just had the little cards. Okay, so like the little cards, you have the jewelry. Those have little metal pieces to it. You have the little pieces for the badge reels. You have photo boards that are same material, okay? The little pieces for the jewelry, same material, okay? If you do license plates, same material, okay? If you press any of those and don't wear a respirator, don't have a mask on, You can't say that that's because you still heating it up. So when we apply common sense and we apply science, sublimation goes into a gaseous state. It's not a gas that's on the periodic table. It becomes a gas as far as going into a fume, a gaseous state. It is not a toxic gas, a natural gas. Anything that's on the periodic table, it is not petroleum, the gas that you put in your car. It goes into a gaseous state, which simply means that it turns into basically fumes. It turns into vapors. Sublimation is not just this. Do y'all know that dry ice, and when you see that's called sublimation. That's sublimation when it comes to dry ice. There are other things that are called sublimation. This just happens to be dye sublimation. But the sublimation process is not toxic. Do you want to touch dry ice with your bare hands when it's smoking? Hell no. But when you are in these like Halloween horrors and stuff, or they're using it to kind of have that smoky feel, can you walk past those vapors and it be safe? Yes, you can. See, that's the difference when you learn from people who just go into Google or people who are just regurgitating stuff, and you learn it from somebody who actually does science. There's nothing toxic about the sublimation process. This is why I sub tumblers in my home oven. We're good? Are we good? We understand? All right. So make sure y'all share that with the nosy folk who said I'm crazy. I need that license plate substrate. Where can I purchase that? Unfortunately, not crazy at all. I use photo paper. Yes, you can definitely use photo paper. I actually like the way it looks better because I've done these for years and years and years. And once I started doing the sublimation, I like the way this looks better. Okay. All right. Someone asked about the license plate. So with this is why you want to invest in the larger size paper. So it will not fit on 8.5 by 11, right? But so many people with the smaller format printers don't realize that you can use 8.5 by 14 in those as well. So you can do license plates if you have a small format printer. Let's turn the shop back on. All right. So you can do license plates with 8.5 by 14-inch paper. Okay. I did your technique. It worked on the cups, but I still can't get my blacks from turning brown. That's the ink that you're using, love. That's the ink that you are using. And if it's turning brown, you have to find that perfect temperature with the ink that you're using. Now, I will say this. If you come back on Monday, come check our shop on Monday. The ink will be there. Our ink, is this black? No, it's pigment. I don't know if I'm going to get dinged for this or not, but I'm going to show y'all our ink just as soon as I can find it. Are you serious? Oh, okay. Uh-oh. So you're going to find some inks that are like a rust brown. Our ink, it has like, so depending on how long you let it sit, it can be like a really, really dark brown, but it also has, I help formulate our ink, and it has some hints of more like purplish tones, and that is what helps. So if nothing else, you can get the ink and mix it in with your brown ink. Like that, the black ink that you have that has more of a brownish tone. So that is happening due to the ink that you are using, okay? Yeah, even if it turns brown, even when, like, it takes a lot. Like, in order for mine to turn brown, where is it? And it still doesn't even turn brown. like major brown. This is burnt. Like this one, you can tell by this face. This side is burnt because it fell. Some people ask, why do I put it top side up, like this side up? Well, this one, I was rushing and I put it where the bottom was here. And with all that tape, it fell. And I didn't hear it when it fell. So this part was like laying flat and I didn't go in there in enough time. And so it burned. But it's still the ink. Even though it's only on the top and bottom, because of where the heat is, it's burning. So try mixing in a truer black ink, and that's going to make a world of difference on your tumblers. Even it doesn't matter. Even on the tumbler press, the type of ink that you're using is going to produce that brown color. I have over sublimated things online. I don't have the tumbler here with me, but I've over sublimated and I still don't get brown. So brown is due to the ink that you are using, and also the paper that you're using. So if you're over sublimating it, because a lot of times with the tumbler presses, a lot of people press it and then they press the ends. If that was already subbed and you're just trying to get it to like press a little bit and you're redoing the ends, you might be over sublimating. Brown is normally an indicator that you are over sublimating. So if you go and you press that and it's on the ends, it's probably because of the paper that you are using and it didn't quite sub, but once you apply more of that heat and pressure on the ends, it's over sublimating. All right. Okay, so now next things that we have. Grad stoles. Okay. Grad stoles. I just did a memorial stole. So people are using these for memorials as well. I'm going to turn this one to pin this. All right. All right. So grad stoles. If you have a small format printer, you are not limited. You can still do these. Certain papers, when you try to butt them up against each other and then you press them in sections, the way that it subs, it kind of sucks all the ink out of it because that heat starts to spread on it. So there's less color. And so even when you overlap it, you may end up with a white line. You may end up with gaps. We have, you can use rolls of sublimation paper. However, if you don't have rolls, all Epson printers print up to 47 inches long. If you have the 8550, it prints up to 82 or 87 inches long, but over 80 inches long. But all the others, even if you have that $179 printer, they all print up to 47 inches long. You can do it with the 8.5 by 11, or you can get the 8.5 by 14. You're going to use less paper. You can actually tape your papers together to make it longer. And you can do things like stoles. You can do items like 30-inch towels. This was done with 2 pieces, actually technically it's 4 pieces of 8.5 by 14-inch paper. They were taped together and it made one piece. I printed it as one piece for one side, one piece for the other side, and I only had to tape together 2 pieces. If you print them off individually, you have to tape all 4 pieces together. So you can do these, and all you have to do is tape your papers together. You want to overlap it just a little bit, about 1 inch, and you can use masking tape or you can use your 1-inch heat tape to go across the back of it and put them together. You're going to set your design page up to be able to print technically, even though, let's say if I'm printing and it's only 24 inches, it's 30 inches, I still do my print setting at 47 inches. That way you don't have to worry about it. It's only going to print based off of your design page size. So I still have my print settings set to 47 inches. So you can take these together. So if you do a lot of large projects, you have a small format printer, this may come in handy because you won't have to tape together as many. So it would take like 3 of these. Like if you tape together 2, you will need 3 of these sheets. All right. So that allows you to do stoves. If you want to do the traffic master rugs, if you want to do large towels, if you want to do blankets, 5 and below, they're plush blankets. That's 100% polyester. The mainstay at Walmart. So if you want to do longer designs on those, you can tape them together, and that way you won't have that line and worry about like it shifting. You only have to worry about piecing like the 2 sides together. Okay. That you can also do that with this. Did you guys know that you can sublimate glitter cardstock? So this is a senior crown that I made. These are really big seller for me. Okay, it's kind of big now. I can't really put it on, but I had bling and stuff on it. I did videos on this. This is glitter cardstock. If you are a paper crafter, if your major printer goes out, if you don't have, you run out of ink last minute, if you happen to have a sublimation printer, you can do your paper crafts with sublimation ink. This is sublimation to glitter cardstock. I personally don't like putting glitter cardstock inside of my printer. Just having those little pieces, sometimes it can mess up your rollers because of the roughness of the glitter. I don't put glitter cardstock inside my regular printer at all. Some people are okay with it. I personally do not. You can sublimate to glitter cardstock. You don't need to put anything on it. All you need is, honestly speaking, sublimation paper, and you're going to press directly to the glitter cardstock, glitter HTV, anything that's glitter where it's like not the super, super fine one, but not the coarse one either, because it's not going to really get into the grooves with all the coarse ones. So you can see kind of like the texture of that one. That's the type of glitter cardstock you want to use. So you can print and press to glitter cardstock. Of course, I showed this shirt, but most commonly it's going to be white shirts that you sub to. This was sublimated 300. Actually, no. This is either sublimated at 365 degrees, 30 seconds, no paper on the inside. I don't use butcher paper on the inside. It does not bleed through. So you can see what that looks like here. But if you're using quality shirt, it doesn't bleed through. There's other stuff on the back, but it doesn't bleed through. So I don't put butcher paper on top, like on the top of the sublimation paper. I don't put butcher paper inside, and I personally don't use heat tape if it's a full-on design. But you can do shirts. This is one of the first things that people get into is shirts. Here, we do a lot of testing. When I recommend print settings, it's because I've thoroughly tested it. So this kind of just shows you, I'm not sure if you guys can see the differences in the color. Like I can tell with that K, it looks really bright there, and you can tell the differences in them. But these are all printed with different print settings, and you can also see those over there. I'm always doing testing. That's what you get when you follow me. You learn from our instructions. You're always getting tried and true. Like I test. I don't provide you any information that I have not fully researched and or tested. Okay. Thank you for the follow, woman mama's home. Thank you for the follow. All right. Also, Nadia's boutique. Thank you for the follow. So this particular shirt is Team 365. It's a brand called Team 365, but I also use Sports Tech, and this one that I have on is from Walmart. It's No Boundaries. Okay, so you have shirts. Here's another one of those like blankets. This is a baby blanket one. It's from that app. that people like. No, you can't. So when it comes to sublimation, you cannot use cotton. It has to have polyester. The higher the polyester count, the better. I personally don't like to go below like 85%, but can you sublimate things to substrates or fabrics that's 65%? Yes, you can. You can technically do 50%. It's going to have a really washed out look, but for certain things, it's actually a preferred look. So anywhere there's polyester, it's just that the more polyester, the more vibrant it will be. Hey, Deb, how are you? So you can do baby blankets. This is, it'll say fleece. It's plush, but fleece, a lot of the fleece, satin, microfiber, those are normally high polyester counts. So you can use, honestly speaking, sublimation paper, and you can press to baby blankets. That same thing. If you have the large format, you can tape several of them together, or you can tape several of the smaller ones, okay? Sequins. Now, I'm not a big fan of sequins. It looks great when you first do them. Depending on the quality of the sequins, as you kind of go back and forth, it can look kind of funky. I'm not a huge fan, but they are great. Some people love them. They don't actually even move them, so you can do sequins, okay? All right. Another thing when we do shirts, y'all love these. Now, for me, I've done maybe 2 or 3 videos. I don't really do a lot of videos doing this because I don't encourage people to do this. I do not encourage it. It's definitely not how you want to build a business, okay? But you can do all over shirts using our paper. This was done with our paper, and it's pieced together. So I personally have, of course, like I said, I have a Epson 7720. So I'm able to use the 13-inch paper and do it 32 inches across. So this was done with 3 sheets of 13-inch by 30 something long. So I'll show this. I'm not sure if you want to try and find where the splits are. Now, don't get me wrong. Your girl bad, okay? MyShirtsBeTheBomb.com, all right? I don't use a RAM board. No, I do not. I know everyone's telling you how to go out, buy this huge ass RAM board. Where you put it at afterwards, it get in your way. You can't prop it up on. You got to lug it in and out. If you got a tight space, baby, I don't use a RAM board. Nope. I mean, not RAM board, Yucca board, the big heavy one. RAM board is good to put on the inside, but I don't use that big old hardboard Yucca board. There was nothing that was not used in the making of this shirt. Now, if you can find my seams, more power to you, okay? More power to you. But I used our heat tape, I used our paper to be able to make this shirt. So I'll show you because I used 13 by 19 taped together. That's where it was pieced at. The only way you can tell is when you're right up on it, because where the papers overlap, you can't really get rid of that line of demarcation. So right there. So you can see it going across his head. Now the bottom one is a lot harder to find. I got to really look for that one. I know it's on University. Okay, there it is. It's right there. Now, I'm the bomb at doing this and teaching it, but I don't like to encourage it, so I don't try to show it all too often. If it's in a pinch, I'll do it, because, baby, this is the most aggravating process in the world. It is tedious. It is aggravating. I don't recommend trying to build a business off of piecing together all over shirts. But if you need it in a pinch, you can do it with sublimation, okay? Puzzles. When you do the puzzles, this particular size, where the heck am I? Oh. I meant to bring my other size puzzles too. I'll show it in another video. but you can use 8.5 by 11-inch paper. Y'all be sleeping. Y'all be thinking y'all can't do too much with this. This right here, and this right here is 8.5 by 11, take it by 14. Baby, I'm telling y'all can make money. I am here. Our products, our shop is here to help you make money. You help us make money by buying our paper. That's going to allow you to be more efficient. You're going to save time and money. You're going to save on your electricity bill because you don't have to have your heat press up that high, and you're going to be able to get it done a whole lot faster. So you help us, we help you. You help us by purchasing the products from our TikTok shop. Click the shopping cart below, and we in turn help you because we're helping you be more efficient in your business. Or if you're just a DIYer, ain't no sense you just wasting money just to waste it. If you're a DIYer, you want to still save money, all right? Photo slates. Depending on the size, will determine which size paper you can use. With our paper, is there anyone here that has done photo slates? If you've done photo slates before, let me know what time. How long does it take you to do photo slates? How long does it take you? Yours looks flawless. I couldn't even see the line when you pointed it out. I'm telling y'all, my technique is bomb.com. I love how you are teaching us and showing us how you do your work. That's what we do over here. That looks so vibrant. Thank you, Deb. I'm going to kind of step out the light, Caroline. Okay, if I'm not in the way, you can probably see the color better. For those of you who have done slates, how long have you pressed these? Or if you've seen someone do them in a demo, how long are they pressing these for? I remember you subbed on that one live. Yep. All right. No one has sub slates. Well, with honestly speaking, sublimation paper, you can sublimate this in 2 minutes. 2 minutes is all it takes. So you can't do 30 seconds because this is a thicker substrate. It's like a rock. So you can't do 30 seconds. But on average, people are up to like 4 minutes, 6 minutes. We cut that in half, or even lower, like even better than that. So 2 minutes is all it takes on a flatbed printer. Heat press, 2 minutes. Okay? So you can do slates. You don't always have to do a full wrap tumbler. You can do a design like this, and then you don't have to worry about your seam. This is a great way to practice doing tumblers, doing designs that don't like it's almost a full design, but it's not quite. This is so you can perfect your color, perfect your time and temp, and you would still use our heat tape. Our heat tape is non-staining and non-marking. You will not get yellow marks on your tumblers when you use our heat tape. The heat tape is non-staining, non-marking. It will not leave yellow. It will not leave yellow. I love the lower times on your paper. Yes, it's one of the best features ever. Is it better to lower the temp and go a little bit longer? Wait, look. So you can, if you rather lower the temp and then press longer, that is an option as well. So someone said 5 minutes. Yes, 2 minutes is all it would take with our paper. But if you wanted to lower the temp and go longer, you definitely can. Technically, even if you leave it at 365, you can actually still go a little bit longer. It takes a lot for our paper to burn. Other tapes leave marks, not good. Now, if you are someone, you've had bad experiences and you're like, I like the clear tape, I like the blue tape, I'm not going to ever knock them. Of course, they work, they do their job. However, you're not going to find those. Like, they make those for crafters. and they assume that you're doing smaller items. So they don't sell those, most of those in the wider size. I think I've seen like the green ones. I don't think I've ever seen the clear ones and the blue ones in the larger sizes. And these come in handy for a lot of projects. So we have the larger sizes, and don't be afraid of it being yellow because this does not stain, okay? It's non-staining, non-marking. Let's see. Got a few items left. We have socks. So whether it's a baby sock, a grown-up sock, you can do socks. You have acrylic. So you can press acrylic. I normally do my acrylic at 315 degrees. So this is what, if you paint it white, you'll see the colors a lot more vibrant. But this was an acrylic keychain. So I do 315 degrees. But you can do that. All right. Yes. Hi, welcome. Yes, I sub tumblers in my home oven. If you would like to hear more, go ahead, be a part of the double tap. Once we get to 11,000, I'll go ahead and explain how this is possible. But go ahead and double tap for me, okay? But you can do the acrylic keychains. All right. There's acrylic keychains. There's MDF keychains. There's metal keychains. A lot of different keychains. Now, this one isn't subbed. I did a video. I was trying to find the one that I did sub, but you can sublimate this with our paper as well. This is a swimsuit. This is a no boundaries. This particular product is, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I don't know if it's on here. Okay, there it is. It is 92% nylon, 18% spandex. 82% nylon, 18% spandex. Oh, I'm frozen over there. Can you only sublimate to polyester? That's really dangerous. Isn't it dangerous to sub in ovens that you cook food in? No, it's not, Deanna. So I'm going to explain why it's not. So just stick around. Once we hit 11,000 over here with them double tapping, we're going to go ahead and talk about that. It's not dangerous at all. I'm assuming you just hopped on the live and you missed the part where the professor explains it. So she probably did. I'm going to explain it again, okay? So when it comes to sublimation, you guys were taught polyester, right? You were taught polyester. But I just said this is not 82% nylon, 18% spandex. But I have a live video where I've sublimated. It was a colorful animal print on this. Did you guys know that it doesn't have to be sublimation? Where is that shirt? Where is that 2-year-old shirt? Great example of your amazing ink. I don't have it, but I do have something even better than that. Hold on. I got something even better than that. So if you guys don't know, when it comes, not even just the nylon, love, the spandex as well. Sublimation binds to synthetic fibers. Polyester is the most common, but satin is a form of polyester. Microfiber is, certain fleeces are, but synthetic fibers that can actually withhold high levels of heat, nylon and spandex can, without any actual polyester, this can be subbed because the nylon and the way that this is produced, you can sublimate it because nylon and spandex are both synthetic fibers. Okay. Yes, you can do bikinis. I'm telling y'all, I'm gonna teach you. You can do a whole lot of stuff. All right. So you have, I asked on my book face, as Eric would say, about what do you feel like is the easiest thing to sublimate. People said coasters. You can do multiples of these. You see how thick this is? The little thin heat tape would do nothing when it comes to this. So you would need our sublimation paper and you would need the thicker heat tape. The thin tape, you would have to go and tape all the way around this. You get you one piece of that really big tape, go across. That's all you would need to hold this heavy, thick ceramic coaster in place. Okay? Then you also have like MDF placards. They'll say different things. I love mom, grad, Christmas, my first Christmas, things like that. So you can be on the lookout for those types of products. All right. We also have a door hanger. This is basically like a plastic. So you can do this. This is also one of those thicker products where you're going to need the wider heat tape to hold it in place if you need to tape it down and then flip it so that you don't get tape on your, like it doesn't come off and then be on the front and you end up having a big rectangle of white, okay? All right, so last one, then we're going to answer some questions. I have some more things here, but we're going to save these for another video. Oh, wait, I do want to show you one thing really, really quick. Real quick. Hold on, let me find the other one. Is if you are doing colored shirts or cotton shirts, there are materials that you can actually sublimate to. Glitter HTV, Easy Subli Flock. You can sublimate to those with honestly speaking sublimation paper. It is still 365 degrees, 30 seconds, okay? So you're going to print and cut the substrate. Then you're going to take your print, cut like the edges around it, and you're going to put that onto your, like onto the glitter card, the glitter HTV, the Easy Subli Flock, Subli Fabric, and you can use this paper and you would use the heat tape. So if you want to make a patch, did you guys know that heat tape is non-stick? Heat tape is non-stick. So if you want to make a patch, like you didn't want to put it on here or it was solid, you can print it out, you can cut it. You can take that off, right? Put it on parchment paper. Parchment paper. But if it's something small, you can tape it to the sub paper with heat tape. Heat tape is non-stick. It will not affect the adhesive on the back of your heat transfer vinyl. So you can make patches and then you can sell them that way and they can apply that. Because you have already sublimated it, they can apply that themselves to their garments, to their hats, to their shoes with a regular iron or even a flat iron if they're doing it on shoes. So you can make small patches, nothing where it's loose letters, something where it is solid. You would have already sublimated it. So when it comes to heat transfer vinyl, you have what's called iron-on vinyl. They tell you you can use a regular iron. You can't use a regular iron for sublimation because of the holes for the steam and because of the steam. Now, if it was a flat one, you can use that. So if you make patches, you now can sell sublimation patches, give them a little parchment paper with it, and they're going to put that on their clothes. They're going to put the parchment paper on top, and then they're going to press that at a much lower temperature directly to their fabric. So you can sell sublimation patches. No, never, ever, ever use Teflon with sublimation. Teflon is a synthetic fiber. It has polymers in it. So your sublimation gas will be attracted to that. It will trap in there. And then every time you are using that, it will regas off and it can get on the next substrate. Never should you use Teflon when doing sublimation. Butcher paper, parchment paper, anything that is disposable is what you want to use. But if you are making patches, yes, Teflon is non-stick, but you won't be able to reuse that. Now, if you want to just use that and throw it away, you can. Parchment paper is going to be less expensive and it is non-stick, so you can use it to make your patches. All right. So, last but not least, to my friend that was talking about my the shirt, what does that say? What year does that say? So some people wonder, if you sublimate to laminate, does it wear off? How long does it last? This is the wood was painted white, laminate was put on top, and then I used our sublimation paper. I created the template in Silhouette Studio. I teach you how to design in Silhouette Studio so that I knew exactly where everything was going to line up at. I put the laminate. I used the Honestly Speaking sublimation paper. I used the Honestly Speaking sublimation tape to hold it down. This was from our 1-year ink anniversary in 2001. And look at the colors on that. Still amazing on laminate. Colors still popping, still vibrant, still blackened, okay? All right. So we have gone through so much, and we're going to do more of these. I have so many more substrates that you can sublimate to. There's a lot out there that you can sublimate to. This was just the tip of the iceberg. There is a lot of money to be made if you are using the right products, Honestly Speaking sublimation paper and ink. If you are using the tape and you're getting the right instructions. If you found your way here because somebody saw this and they said, oh, that girl that sublimate her tumblers in the oven, she on again. Go find out how she's doing all of that or whatever. And you came over here to be nosy because they told you that I sublimate tumblers in my oven. Guess what? You came over here and got more than you expected, because what they did not bother to tell you was that girl is the professor and she's very knowledgeable and she will get you all the way together. You want to make money, or you just want to be efficient in your crafts and what you are doing. That chick that sublimate tumblers in her home oven that she cooks in, yes, she's very knowledgeable. She's very, very knowledgeable. Okay? So for anybody that's over here, because somebody sent you and they told y'all I was on, because I saw the post in the groups. Hope you learned something. Something that's gonna help you make some money. Okay? Okay. Now we hit our 11K over here. You guys, I'm going to turn this off so that they don't ding me, but I'm going to break down. I'll bring it back up so that you can order your products. But I'm going to take that down so that I can freely talk about how you can sub, why you can't actually sub in your home oven, the same one that you cook in. Now, that is totally up to you. If you feel better with having a dedicated oven, I am not saying that you don't have to. For some, it's a convenience thing to have that right in your workspace. It works better for you to have a dedicated oven or a tumbler press. That is perfectly fine if that is what works for you, if that is the reason why you have it. However, if you are somebody that just wants to tap your toe into sublimation, see if you're going to like it, see if it's going to frustrate you. You don't have to go out and buy a lot of expensive equipment. You don't even need a printer. You don't need your own paper. You don't need ink. You may still need substrates. You will need heat tape. And then you can use, if you're doing hard substrates, you can use your oven. Do you know, even if you are going to do, now I wouldn't put something like a puzzle. I wouldn't do something like a puzzle. But if you were going to do like harder substrates, like more rigid substrates, like the license plate, maybe even this one, the edges might make it a little bit harder, but something like this, things like this, like the plaque, do you know you can actually do these in your oven? But for that, you will need shrink wrap for the pressure. So you're going to tape it down. You're going to put it in the shrink wrap. You're going to shrink wrap it so that you get that pressure. But all you need is heat. And the shrink wrap is going to give you the pressure. You just need it to be flat on your surface. It may take some practice getting it just right and figuring out the right temp and time. Now, with a flatbed press or paper, you can do this in 30 seconds. But in an oven, you are going to have to figure out with your oven how long it's going to take for it to actually sublimate, okay? But you can use an oven for different things. The reason why you can do this, what type of oven is better, gas or electric? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. How can you switch? Just go ahead and hold on one second. Okay, I had to mute my microphone over there. You're going to go to the website on the bottom, and that's where you're going to find our inks at. And I would say wait until your ink gets down fairly low, and then you're just going to put a little bit on top, use it, and slowly, like don't fill it up completely. Do it a little bit at a time so that you can, oh wait, I turned off the TikTok shop. My bad. I did not have to mute myself. I turned off TikTok shop. So yeah, to switch the inks, you are going to let it, if you have a eco tank, let it get down, as low as possible, and just put a little bit of ink and because it's going to end up mixing. Now, you can technically just put ink on top. It's not that it's not going to sublimate. You might see a slight difference in color. Once you decide to switch inks or mix inks, do not do that in the middle of an order. If you were printing out tumbler designs or whatever for, an order, if you mix the inks and those inks have different color profiles, you're going to see a difference in your color. So I don't recommend doing it in the middle of a batch of the same prints, but you can easily change inks. It just might see a slight difference in color. Yes, we are located in Miami, and we do offer local pickups. I use an oven now, so much quicker, and you can do more than one at a time. Exactly. Okay, so hold on. Let me see over here. You just dropped a gem for me. I didn't know you could sub on synthetic fibers. However, it does make sense. I've always thought polyester only. No, you can do any synthetic fibers and depending on how it's made, that it can withstand heat, because some things are synthetic fibers, but if it's depending on how it's woven or how it's comprised, you may not be able to sublimate it because it will melt because it is synthetic. So it does depend on how it's made, but in a fabric type setup, the synthetic fibers you can use. Okay. Is it necessary to seal the edges on tumblers? Yes. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. No, it will not clog. It will not clog. It's the same consistency. Okay, so honest moment here, right? When it comes to these inks, any third-party ink, and truth be told, even ASUB doesn't formulate their own. They're getting it from the same vendors we get it from, okay? When it comes to any of these inks, there is about 3 to 4 actual manufacturers overseas that makes these inks. Where most people get them from. There's actually some other ones in other countries, but most people get them from the same country. And there's really only about 4 actual manufacturers because of the type of machinery that it takes. There's a lot of distributors who will basically bottle it up themselves or bottle it for you. From the manufacturers, they're buying it in humongous tubs. And then they will spend their money on bottling equipment versus equipment to actually make the sublimation ink. So they are distributors, not necessarily manufacturers. So a lot of these inks are from the same manufacturers. The difference, though, is the pigmentation of it and how the colors will output. Some yellows come out as like a softer yellow, and some look more like a yellow gold. So at the end of the day, they're all pretty much the same consistency as long as you are using water-based sublimation ink. Because all of these companies, even Hippo, even HTV runs, all these ones that y'all think are like so great that don't provide you any support. If you have any issues with their products, you are relying on people in groups. You can never go to those companies. Yes, it might cost you a couple of cents more, but if you are somebody, especially if you are a beginner, it is great to support the companies that are locally, especially the ones that provide education and actually provide support to you to help you along your journey. So those companies, we're all pretty much, we can be using the same exact ink, but the colors can be slightly different. Technically, from any one particular company, you might get a slightly different batch of ink because we really have no control over how this ink is made. If somebody over there sneezes, achoo, and they put too much yellow pigmentation, that batch of yellow is going to be slightly different than the last one that we had. So we really have no control over it. That is why you technically can mix and match any ink. What I will say, though, is when it comes to the black ink, we have the best, okay? How do you fix the color if it's off? You can't because you mix the inks. So if you are using, I would love an ink that comes out bright like neons. I know I'm supposed to talk about the things I'm going to talk about it because these are different questions. Because I went on the other. You can always go to the playback. So if you are using an EcoTank printer, you're never going to get neons. Never are you going to get neons. Okay. Now, if it's just a solid color, all right, you're not going to get like that neon green, that hot pink, that safety yellow. You're not going to get that when it comes to EcoTank printers, which I have another video. You're watching over here on YouTube, you can definitely go check out that video. I break down the ink formulas and why that happens, okay? But you're not going to get neons. Now, this is one where it has a neon look, but it's more so because of the way that it's made. I also use a workforce. A workforce, you can get closer to those neon type colors. So this one is nice and vibrant. With an EcoTank, this will still somewhat come out. That will see it looks very dark for y'all. Hold on. Okay, I got to figure out how I can do this. Man, I'll have to take a picture of this because to me it's looking kind of dark on that one. But if you look over here, it's nice and bright. But because of the way it's designed, it looks more like neon type colors. Some of these colors would be really hard to get, like your green here on an EcoTank printer. It won't look like that because of the way the ink is. It's always going to come out darker. So you're not going to get those neon looks. Yeah, you have an EcoTank 2720. One, because of just the sheer quality of it and the print resolution, and because of the type of ink that it uses, you are not going to, I don't care what ink you use, even if you switch over to ours, it is not going to help you produce those neon colors because of the type of printer that is, okay? Thank you, Jesse. All right, so let me talk about this real quick and I'm gonna answer some of your other questions, all right? So the reason why you can do this is because of what sublimation is. Sublimation is simply a process where it goes into a gaseous state. What we do here with this is called dye sublimation, but dry ice is actually a sublimation process. There are a lot of things around you that goes through a sublimation process. It goes from a solid state to a gaseous state, passing the liquid state. It doesn't turn into a liquid. It goes straight into a vapor. That is what sublimation is. This is not the only form of sublimation. This is dye sublimation. It is heat activated sublimation, but it's not the only form of sublimation. So it goes into a gaseous state. People will say, oh, it's sublimation gas. It is not on the periodic table, okay? It's not that type of gas. Because of it, it's a vapor. That's what it's called. It goes through a gaseous state. It turns into a gas, but it's not a toxic gas. Sublimation in of itself is not a toxic process. Now, are there vapors? Are there fumes? Depending on what it is you're pressing. If you do wood, anytime you heat up wood, it's going to have I'm saying aroma, but it's going to have a scent to it. When you are heating up, like my, what's those things called? My license plates, it can cause, like, because you are heating up metal, right? It's not that, like, if you just do it 1-2 times, it's going to be toxic. But if you're doing that repeatedly, it can affect your respiratory system if you're constantly breathing that in. It's not that it's toxic. Just like you can go outside and there's fog. If you, some people don't like super hot showers because of the steam. Some people, it helps them. It might clear up your sinuses, and some people can't take steam at all. And that's what you're getting from that, because sometimes it's the moisture in things. So you're going to have vapors that will come up due to you pressing something that has moisture in it, and certain substrates will have a scent to it. That scent does not automatically equate to it being toxic, okay? If you are someone that uses a flatbed press, if you use an easy press, if you use a tumbler press, you are doing this in an open source. It's just open in your room. Even if you have, someone said, oh, I have a ventilator, or I have something that sucks the air out, whatever she claimed that she has. I don't know what it is exactly she has. But when you're doing that, those fumes, those sublimation gases are in the air. I don't understand how we can sublimate rags, we can sublimate towels, we can sublimate shirts, we can sublimate keychains, and we never say that it's toxic. But the moment we do a tumbler or something that can be used in an oven, this process becomes so toxic, and it's going to, it's going to harm you. It's going to get in your food. You're going to have all. If you feel that way, that means you should be wearing PPE gear when you are doing regular sublimation. You should have all of your windows open. You should not be sublimating in your basement, because there's, might have just one small window. If you feel as if the process of sublimation for anything else, like just the process of sublimation for this is toxic, you should not be doing any other sublimation, because on an open press, those same toxic fumes would come right back at you because you're right over it, right? Even if you have a dedicated oven, if the fumes and the gases were toxic, the moment you open that oven, those toxic gases would come out at you, would they not? Is it making sense to you now why I'm able to do this? Because I'm going to explain to you the science behind it. I'm not just going to go and say something that was read on Google or something that was posted in a group and it's the same information being regurgitated, and they're not telling you why you can't do this. I'm going to tell you why you can. Okay? So if you're able to do that, if the gases are going to stick to the walls of an oven, what is it about an oven that makes it stick to it? Because we use Teflon, right? You're using Teflon on your heat presses. Y'all do know most ovens on the inside has Teflon, right? It's a different type of it, but it's kind of like a Teflon. What is it about ovens where this gas is going to stick to the inside of an oven and it's not going to jump out off of the walls of your oven, off the grates of the racks until you put food in it? Why is it that when you are sublimating in your office space, your garage, on your open heat press, on your tumbler presses, on your mug presses, on your easy presses, why does it not stick to your drywall? Why is it not sticking to your clothes? Why is it not sticking to the other substrates? Why is it only sticking in, like, it's going to hold on to the walls of an oven and then come back out? Sublimation, the ink needs to be on there. In order for it to turn back into gas, it has to be ink. Now, if you were to spray some ink on it and it gets heated up, that might come off, right? That might come off if you actually have ink on it. But when you are sublimating tumblers, it is completely wrapped. If you are using paper that bleeds out that you need the butcher paper for, yeah, you might be at risk if you feel like it is toxic. Yes, it's called off-gassing, but it doesn't mean just because it's a gas does not mean that it's toxic. The gases that it forms is a part of a scientific process. It's a gaseous state, therefore they call it a gas, but it is not a toxic gas. Now, certain papers, it does gas out the back. There's called blowout. When you are using this paper, honestly speaking, sublimation paper, our paper has no blowout. So when you have this wrapped and you have it sealed, nothing is coming out of here. All of your ink, all of your gases is going onto your tumbler. It's going onto your mug or whatever you put it on and put it in the oven. Nothing is coming, nothing is blowing back. It's all sealed inside of here. Okay? I understand if you have a doctor, you feel that way. It does so. So if you feel that way, that means that you should not be sublimating anything. So this is for those who feels that if sublimation was this toxic process, it would not be able, you wouldn't be able to do it in any space. So I understand that you know your doctor degree. If you feel that way, okay, fine, so be it. Maybe you are not somebody that sublimates, but if you are going to sublimate a shirt on an open press, if you feel it's toxic, that should be just as toxic. And every time you press a shirt, you should have on PPE gear. You should have this major ventilation system. But there is no difference in sublimating a shirt and sublimating a tumbler. There is nothing, if it was toxic, there would be nothing more toxic. Like it wouldn't be more toxic to do the tumbler in an open press where you are right over it or an oven. And if you own a sublimation business, baby, do you. I am not telling you that you have to adopt my way of thinking and my knowledge. I am not telling you that. You can do whatever you would like. If you would like to start a platform and you would like to educate people based off of your doctorate degree, you don't know what I have. So what type of education I have? You're just coming on here. So if you would like to start a platform and teach others based off of what you know to be true, then do so. But over here, I know what I know. And I know that if you are going to go and press any of these and you are not going to protect yourself, so-called, if you feel like it's toxic, if you ain't protect yourself with this, you are at just as much risk if you were to do this. It doesn't matter if it is a dedicated oven or if it is a oven that you use. Nothing about this process is going to trap itself in how they say. Now, my whole thing is what people say about this. Oh, you can't use your home oven. The gases are going to get on the walls, and then they're going to go and jump into your food. That don't sound silly to you in your doctorate degree? That don't sound silly? Okay, the process in general generates VOCs, not regardless of the substrate, not totally true. But even if that was, you have a sublimation business. So in your sublimation business, are you wearing PPE gear every time you sublimate anything? You are wearing a full mask with a, not just a little N95, you're wearing a full one? No, because it definitely gases off back into food. How? When you opened up the oven, it just stayed back? It just said, I'm going to chill back here? Y'all go on. You open up the door. I'm not going to stay. I'm going to just sit back here and chill. Have you ever cleaned your oven? Have you ever cooked at 400 degrees? You do know that the what ovens are made of? You know the racks that go in your oven? You know, you put your pans on it. This right here. This right here. Okay? This right here. This right here. Okay, well, if you do it, then that's fine for you. Bravo for you. If you always wear a 3M mask, bravo for you. But when it comes to your ovens, and people say, "Oh, it's the stainless steel," y'all do know, y'all damn near cooking stuff. You got aluminum pans that you cook in, the racks that's in an oven. So now, see, you want to come over here and test my gangster. You want to test my knowledge. Now I can throw back a whole bunch of stuff that's in your oven. If you've ever used the sprays to clean out your oven, if you cook and you use that, that is more toxic, and that smell gonna stay there for days after you clean it. But this right here, where it is completely wrapped and it is in, I'm not using a shrink wrap that is not meant, or a heat tape that is not meant for sublimation, or not sublimation, that's not meant to be heated. I'm using a heat tape that is that you are able to use high heat on, and so this is not going to be harmful for you as well. But that is what I know to be true. Everyone has different opinions on everything. Things like gun control and woman's choice and pro-choice. That's what makes us a great human race, is we can all have differences of opinions. Now, if you choose to not adopt like my way of thinking, you are not wrong in how you think. But what I don't want anyone to do is say that I am wrong. We just have to agree to disagree on these theories. Okay? I mean, have you looked at the English language? We as a people, we kind of screwed up even in the English language. So, yeah, hold certain things with a grain of salt. But I thank you for the engagement. I thank you for your comments. It definitely helped because our numbers went up. So I thank you for that banter and that engagement. I really do appreciate it, okay? Now, if you have a platform, if you would ever like to kind of come on and we can talk, I like debate. I was a debate team captain in high school at Barbara Goldman Senior High School and at Miami Springs. So I like a good debate. So we can definitely get together and, talk about the opposing sides and our opposing views on this matter, okay? All right, so let's see. What about an Epson sublimation printer? What about it, love? I have the F570. Is that a good vibrant one? So an F570 is an actual sublimation printer. So the ink that comes with it is made for sublimation. You will get colors that are truer to color and now you won't be able to get like really fluorescent colors. Like that's why they have that fluorescent ink. There's only a certain color gamut. Okay. So you're going to still be limited when it comes to certain colors. All right. But that is a printer that is made for sublimation. So you would be able to get like some of those neon greens if you're using the right color code. All right. Hey, Hans. I love the explanation. I hope you get through their heads. I bet they won't put that in their group. Haha, exactly. Dang, you dropped another gem. I have an Epson EcoTank 2720 and my designs that are turquoise in color print more of a light blue. Yes, actually, hey, you got light blue. Some people prints dark. Yes, the science of it makes sense. The normal air that we breathe every day, including those coming from wildfires, gases, and smokes from Canada, are more toxic than sublimation fumes and gases. Exactly. Thank you for the explanation. Thank you. Your explanation was on fire. Yes. Which sublimation ink is best? Honestly speaking, sublimation ink, baby. Go to you see at the bottom for the best sublimation ink and paper, or to enroll in the top rated classes and trainings. Visit shop.hsink365.com. Oh, wait a minute. I do have the shop off, right? Okay, I do have the TikTok shop off. I do, Chrissy. So I'm not going to go through this again, but if you would like to follow us and catch the next live when we go through it. But yes, I do cook it in home oven. I do cook it. I've done that breakdown. Now, I am not telling you guys that you have to. Well, I'm going to go off this topic. I am not telling you that you have to, right? So obviously we got a couple people. You don't cook in it, do you? All right, so I hope you don't cook it. We got a couple people. That means that this was shared out. It got to the people that said, that girl that's talking about sublimating her oven, she's on again. So I welcome you guys. How are you guys doing? My name is Shakia, the professor. My company is HSINK365. We have an amazing sublimation two amazing sublimation products. We have sublimation paper that's going to allow you to sublimate as low as 365 degrees as fast as 30 seconds, okay? If you give me a moment, the shop will come up. You'll be able to take advantage of discounts and get you this amazing paper. 365 degrees, 365 degrees, 30 seconds is what you will be able to use to sublimate with our paper, okay? We also have a link that will be up on our TikTok shop on Monday once my husband finished setting it up. We also have heat tape that's non-staining and non-marking. So I know some of you guys are afraid of the yellow heat tape. Our heat tape is non-staining, non-marking, okay? So you won't get that yellow on the bottom of your tumblers, your cups, on your shirts when you are using our tape. Once I turn on the shop, go ahead and take advantage of that. Just go ahead and click on the shopping cart, the shopping bag, and you'll be able to purchase all those directly from TikTok, okay? No, I don't get mine from Temu. No, I do not, okay? That's true. The paper is really good. It's really good. Let's see. So, ooh, that came up big. All right. So that is who I am. And it was something I was going to say. I forgot. Dang it. I did my intro and I forgot what the heck I was going to say. Someone asked about cooking it, but I don't think that's what it was. Do I cook in it? But yes, technically I do. I've gone through that whole process. I was going to say something else and I did my intro and I forgot. So oh well, I guess it wasn't meant to be said. It was about the cooking. I know I saw that, but I was going to say something. I've already gone through that. And I said I was going to say something, and I forgot. I forgot what I was going to say. I did the intro. Well, I did my, introducing myself, and I forgot what I was about to say. Let's see. You can get B. It's going to be the same. So if you look, so all you have to do is click on the one that says EcoTank. Click on that yellow thumbnail, and everything that you need is going to be right there. Okay, so you can get the formula B. Can I see how wide the tape is? Sure. I'm going to turn this on for you real quick. All right, so we offer 1/2-inch tape. Put my bracelet on. We offer 1-inch tape. Now, I went through this whole thing and I showed where you would use these different ones. We have 2-inch tape. We have, I was like, wait a minute, which one is which? We have 3-inch tape. We have 4 and 6. So 6, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1/2-inch. Yes, it would save you so much time. We just went through and I was saying that when you're using too much of the small ones, one, you're going to use way too many pieces of tape. The thicker the substrate, the wider the substrate, you want to use the longer heat tapes. Dee and Eric over at the Blank Spot, they've done some banners, they've done some tablecloths, and they love using the wide ones. And like one person will hold it, they'll pull it, and it really keeps it down so they can use it and press it in sections. So the wider heat tapes definitely come in handy, okay? I don't remember what it was. I really don't. Now I don't remember what it was. I was going to say. It'll eventually come back to me. I should have just said my thought while it was in my head. I am 42 years old. Sometimes, the brain be brain and forget stuff. Again, love. What is her name? Melanin Doc. There's no need for you to worry about whatever credentials I have. You can have whatever thoughts you would like to have. Oh, that's what I was going to say. My goal in this is not to ever change your mind. There are some people where they will have to do all that stuff just because of their environment, how they prefer to do things. This is the way that works for me. This is the way that works for a lot of others. I'm going to apply science and I'm going to apply common sense to this, okay? So you can use the oven if you would like. For some people, oh, I don't know why I'm starting to jump over here. For some, they will say it's a convenience thing for them. They'd rather have their equipment all in their workspace, and that is fine. For me, when I am wrapping them, I normally wrap them at home. If I have a large order to do, I wrap them all at home while I'm watching the Hallmark Channel. And then I will come and put them in the oven to do 15 or 20 of them. When I was first introduced to sublimation, how I saw mugs, I was first introduced to sublimation with mugs. Okay? This is how I was first introduced to sublimation. And when it came to doing the mugs, they had a big industrial oven. So I've always been kind of fascinated when it comes to doing these in an oven. Now, when I first started, and before I did my due diligence, I listened to what a lot of people, it's like, okay, they've been doing this longer. And then I really started to look at the science of it all, the common sense of it all. And I'm like, this makes no sense. Doing full-on research, and they'll tell you that it's not toxic. People like to compare it to epoxy. That's a totally different process. Totally different. That's like comparing apples to oranges. So you can't go and try and justify your thoughts on sublimation by bringing up something that is totally different when it comes to epoxy and how it cures. Okay? Of course, it's not going to be advisable for you to drink sublimation ink. We don't do that, right? You're not going to ingest it. It does still have things in it where you're not supposed to ingest that. Even though it's water-based, you're not supposed to ingest it. But as far as the process and how sublimation works, it is not this highly toxic process, okay? So I'm going to leave that. Oops, hold on. I'm going to leave that at that, okay? Gotta go to bed. Great conversation. Bye, Deb. Talk to you later if you're not already gone. Is there a color code for the Epsom sublimation? So there's no color code. However, you can use color charts if you are designing and you want to fill in the colors yourself and you want it to be an exact color. You can use color charts, but it's not like a color code or a color profile. Now, some printers do use color profiles. How people talk about color profiles is not the right way. It's more so for calibrating your monitor to make sure that it matches. And you also can calibrate it and do color profiles based off of your eyes and how you see it to make sure it comes out to the right colors. But that's a story for another day. Yes, this is our brand of sublimation ink, and it's done with our sublimation paper. So this was pressed on live. So there is a recording of this. You can see me press these colors. We did a couple different pinks, a couple different mints, gray, 365, 30 seconds with our sublimation paper. Okay. Yes, the ink will be on the TikTok shop by Monday. It might be there tomorrow or Sunday, but definitely by Monday because I set it up. My husband's doing the rest of it because he's the one that does all fulfillment. He does all that stuff. So I kind of got, us going with it, and he's going to be uploading all of that stuff. So you will be able to get that on the shop. It would only be the sets of ink. The individual colors won't be available. Okay. Thank you. All of our substrates look really good. We showed some things like we showed like puzzles. So you're kind of late to the live. We're about to wrap up. We showed puzzles. We showed graduation stalls. Of course, the tumblers. We showed slates. We did the mugs, the towels. Here is another shirt. Oh, that's upside down. We showed bibs, mask, graduation fans with it's sublimated sublaminate. Here is this shirt. And these are just a bunch of test prints on the other side. All done with this same paper. Here, if you want to see what it looks like or can you use a sawgrass, everything here was done from the sawgrass printer. Everything here was from the sawgrass printer. So you can use the paper with a sawgrass printer. No, you do not have to empty out your ink. I just explained that one too. You're a little bit late, but you don't have to you don't have to empty out your ink. If they are so pressed about your process, ink and paper, tell them to click the cart and purchase and see for themselves. Exactly. Question, I've used different brands of ink. Do you have to empty out your printer? No, you do not. All right, let's see. Do you have a video on getting the neon colors? So I don't have, there's nothing special that I do to get neon colors. I just use an Epson workforce printer. It's going to be really hard to get that from, let me see. I don't think any of these are from my ET printer. No, this is ICM. This is the color chart one. Thank you. I'm definitely going to switch to your ink and paper. I have an Epson True Color. So, which model do you have for Epson? If it is a Sure Color F170 or F570, don't use a third-party ink, guys. It's not worth it to save a couple of cents. Those are sublimation printers, and I have to turn the shop off because I'm going to get dinged. Hold on. Okay, those are regular sublimation printers. Yeah, you have the Sure Color. So you can use the paper. Don't switch out your ink. Don't switch out your ink. Switching out to a third-party ink is not going to make your colors any better because their ink is made, for their printer. It is a sublimation printer. Those of us that sell third-party inks is for conversions. You are not converting an Epson 570. What I love, what most people love to take your money and say, okay, use our ink is better than Epson's. No, that makes absolutely no sense because that printer is made for sublimation. Anytime the printer is made for sublimation and there is an actual ink that goes with it, you want to use that ink. Our ink is made for converted printers, but the paper can be used with that printer. You don't have to use Epson sublimation paper. You can use our sublimation paper. Okay. So this was from the 7720. The other one was from my 7210 and using ICM. I'm going to go to, I wish I had I don't know where my Eco Tank, and I can't print anymore because our Eco Tank went out. I can't stand Eco Tank prints. I have no idea what happened to my color chart that I did from the Eco Tank printer. I got to try and find it. Not sure if that's the one Shawnee took, but there is a color on here. So if you want to see if your printer and how neon colors are going to come out on your printer, get the color chart. And on color chart 3, there are some neon type greens. Oh, it's going to look dark for y'all over here. Sorry. I don't know why the color looks weird over here for y'all, but color chart 3 has some neon greens. And because this is the media page, there's some like hot pink type colors here, some magentas, but there's a couple of like neonish type greens here. And a bright yellow here and here. you want to print and sub this. This will tell you the color ranges of your printer. Now, just because you may get a neonish type green if you press the color chart, you might get a neonish type green. Doesn't mean that it's not even it's not a neon green. You're not going to get neon colors. This is a lime green. So I don't mean to say neon. It's more of a lime green color. Just because you might get that lime green or like that bright pink when you do the color chart. Now, don't do it just on a tumbler because this is shiny. This is going to be kind of deceiving. Also, put your color chart on fabric. You can put it on felt sheets. Okay, so once you do that, you're going to see the color range of your printer. But if you purchase a design, if you download a design, you went on Google and got a design, you don't know what color code that particular artist used. I have a post that shows my desktop monitor and my laptop monitor, and I took a picture of them. The laptop looks super, super bright because it's a smaller display. The way, like the type of display that it is, it has backlighting to it, so it looks brighter there. But that file, if I were to print that file, it was pink and green from the desktop or the laptop on that, whatever printer I printed to, I would get the same results, regardless of how it looks on screen. It's like when you walk into Target, you walk into Best Buy, you walk into any place where there's a bunch of monitors. It can be showing in the same exact image, but each one looks different depending on the quality of the TV, the quality of the monitor. So your monitor can play tricks on you. Certain colors will look super, super bright on there, but they will never, even if you are printing with a regular printer, you are not going to get that same vibrancy unless maybe you're putting it on glossy or coated type paper. On a matte paper, you are never going to get those colors. Okay? So you have to understand that it's more than just the ink. Your monitor plays a part. The substrate that you're putting it on plays a part. The paper that you're putting on, if it's a regular printer. I posted a picture yesterday of a shirt, a tumbler, and a rag. Each of the colors, even though it was the exact same image, looks slightly different depending on the substrate. The brightness, like the color of the substrate, is it a bright white? Is it off-white? Does it have a blue tint to it? All of these things will affect the color. You can press something to a shirt and press something to a mouse pad. A mouse pad has the fabric on there is more of a bluish tint, and then there's black neoprene underneath. So the colors are going to look different on that mouse pad than how it would look on a tumbler, than how it would look on a shirt. So there's more to it than just the type of ink and the printer that you are using. But I do recommend, so that you know exactly how your printer outputs, getting a color chart. You can't, I turned the shop off, right? Okay. You can get this color chart on our site. You want to screenshot it? You can get that over on the site. Okay? And download it. It's already set up this way for you. There's even a file that's made for tumblers, and then the rest you can put them on felt sheets. I've done videos on that. More of my content now is going to be on straight education. Educating is so many people that says, wow, I didn't know that. This is another gem. I think somebody else just said that. She says, I have learned so much tonight. I am a crafter at the moment, but I hope to turn my crafting into a business before I retire in 3 years. This is what I do. I give out information, okay? What's the shop name? Wait, what's the shop info showing that you turned off. When I'm back on, I'm looking for a place to order. So no, that's over on TikTok, because when you do TikTok shop, you can't talk about anything that's not in your shop. So I have to turn it off whenever I'm not talking about that, because they want you just to sell and promote that product. But you can go right to our website. It's always there. But if you are someone that is on TikTok, they do offer like first time TikTok shop users discounts. So your first round of paper, you can get it like up to, I've seen coupons up to 50% off. I see the banner scrolling. Shop HSINK to order ink and paper, but I heard you mention another store to order from. No, so that's only over on TikTok shop. Okay. You can find it on her page. All right. Click on her photo. Yes. So yes, I do have a 7820 that was converted. I don't recommend. I'm not going to say. So at the time, because I prefer workforce printers. I do prefer workforce printers over EcoTanks. The only EcoTank printer that I would ever use is a 16600 and 16650. Those are $1,000 and $1,300 printers. So some people aren't trying to spend that much. Back in the day, the workforces were the best printers because they use pigment ink. However, now, because you have to change out the chips and the chips can be hit or miss, the workforces now that they have aren't the best options, unless you don't mind changing out chips and sometimes the chip's not working. I'm new to TikTok. Did you say to order from here? How? Okay, so I'm going to turn that on. So to order on here, you're going to click on the shopping cart at the bottom. So I'm going to pin a product. So now it should pop up for you. You're going to be able to click there and you're going to be able to order right here on TikTok shop. Okay, there you go. Someone's viewing the products. You will be able to order it. I wish I can put the color chart, but that would be a digital download and it has to be a physical product. So I can't do the color chart for you guys. Not here on TikTok shop. All right. So we're going to wrap this up. If anybody is looking to make some extra money and you guys use Honestly Speaking products, you can set up an account to be a TikTok shop affiliate. You don't have to promote just our site. You can, once you get that account, if there's anything that you find on TikTok shop that you like and you like making content, you can make content about it. They'll put on there eligible for commission. And if anyone clicks on that shopping bag from your video, you will receive a commission. Every shop has different commissions. So if you like our products and you are somebody that's on TikTok and you create content, we do have it. It's available. We set it up. It's open. It's ready to for you to sign up on our shop. So you can set up your TikTok shop. I'm not sure, it's not sales. I think it's like affiliates or something like that. So they have information. Just go to the website and look for them. Like if you just want to be an affiliate. Or it might still be under shop, but you'll put that you're not a seller, that you just want to be an affiliate. But I think it might still all be under TikTok shop, seller central, something like that. But you can do that. You can apply to basically market and be an affiliate or an ambassador. You don't have to be an ambassador. Like you just see something, hey, I just need some extra money. Like, hey, this unbrushed, all this stuff works for me. You can really set up, and I think they still have to approve you, I believe, like each shop. But if you are someone that uses our products and you want to be able to make some extra money, they won't go wrong. So we'll do the advertising. Like you can always send them over here. I mean, of course, we prefer that you have used the product and you do enjoy it and you're going to share it with them. But you don't have to worry about selling them on it. Just let them know what it does for you. They can always come to this platform and we will go and take it from there. But you know, you want them to purchase it. You want to put some information because you don't want them to come over here and me give them all this knowledge and you don't get credit for it, okay? You want to have the content where they're going to click on your link and you're going to sell it to them and you can get a commission, okay? So you can do that. All right. Hold on one second, y'all, over here. So if you've been to the site lately, As soon as you go onto the main page, it's literally right under the thumbnail. Our rolls have been on pre-order for the longest. So the original listing, like for when it's here, there that is sold out. But we've had it on pre-order for about 2 or 3 weeks now. We haven't met our minimum quantity. So we're going to send out some emails this week and next week, should I say, to remind anyone who's ever purchased rolls from us to take advantage of the pre-order. So we have that going for the pre-order for the rolls, but we haven't met our minimum quantity yet for the rolls. We purchased a lot last time. Now you guys are starting to catch on and realize that the rolls are a good purchase, but we had so much of it and it took a while for us to get through it that we don't want to take the chance that it's not going to move again. So we want those who really want it, you purchase it. That way we know that there is still a market for it, because I'll be honest, if we didn't get the numbers, we won't carry the rolls anymore. Okay. All right. Sorry, y'all. I had to mute real quick because I'm on TikTok Shop. How do you mute? I went to more, and when you go down and hit mute microphone and turn that on, it's then going to put the mute microphone at the bottom, and you can just hit it to mute. You're welcome. Wait, you do TikTok lives? I ain't never seen no TikTok live from you. Wait a minute now. I'm finding out new stuff. All right, y'all. Well, I am out of here. I thank you guys so very much for your time. We have been on for 2.5 hours. Oh, wow. Hey, making a legacy. How art thou? We have been on for 2.5 hours. Time flies when you're having fun. Yes, I was contemplating about doing a live tonight. Ooh, I'll be watching you and learning. Guys, I'm telling you, if you get over your fear of maybe going live, you can do a lot of like live content where you're not in front of the camera and maybe start off that way and just get used to talking. But one of the things I hesitated on TikTok Shop for a long time. And when I saw Angela Jasmine, I hadn't even watched the video, but I remember her before making a video saying that she went viral on TikTok Shop. She had like 1,300 orders. And then her latest video says, TikTok Shop saved my business. And that, just reading that title alone made me want to go ahead and try out the TikTok Shop. I was worried. I'm like, because we don't have like a finished product. We sell our ink, our paper, our tape. So I didn't think it would be the right platform for us. I didn't know if there was going to be a lot of crafters or people that do sublimation in their business that will find us and that will benefit from us having a TikTok Shop. But the very first day we got orders. So I was very, very grateful for that. And we're just trying it out. But I will say, if you are someone that has finished products, this is a great way. So many people are coming to this app, whether it's just like for entertainment things. If you compile some things together of like, if your customer sends you pictures of them in their shirts, you want to put that together. I am now on board to where I will recommend it. Now it can be kind of crazy because you have to watch how you save things when you have that little cart active. But TikTok Shop, I mean, it's worth it. Even if it's just for a little while, it might get frustrating for you and you may not be able to keep up with it. But if it helps you get just a little bit more exposure, if you want to be able to sell to people in different parts of the country, I highly recommend just trying it. If you can't go and speak to just kind of talking like no one's watching, it's going to be hard to do this. It might seem silly. Put your phone on a tripod or prop it up somewhere. Go and just talk to it. Talk about your products. Watch it back. Listen to how you talk about your products, what you say. Maybe use ChatGPT or any of these things to help you become more comfortable, help you use different words, increase your vocabulary when it comes to your products so that you can actually communicate effectively. And be a subject matter expert on whatever it is that you are selling. So I highly recommend setting your camera up, just talking to it. Because when you first start, You may not go live to 100, 200, 1,000 people. You may have 1 or 2 people that are on your live, but you want to be engaging. You want to draw them in, and eventually, it will pick up. It will pick up more and more and more and more and more. But you have to start somewhere. So I say practice. No one has to see your practice runs. Go set it up. Act as if you are doing a live. Don't worry about mess ups. Slip of the tongues happens when you are live, but you just want to do that and you want to practice and you want to watch it back. Do that a couple of times. But I'm telling y'all, it's worth it to set up the TikTok shop. I'd like to take your class in person as well. We do. Yep, you missed the whole thing. Yep, you just got here. You missed the whole thing. I pray your business shop does well. Thank you so much. From your lips to God's ears, or from your fingers to God's ears. All right, y'all, I am out of here. Like I said, 2.5 hours. This is nothing though. Those who know me know that we've done ride out sessions on live 4, 5, 6, 8 hours. I've literally spent a whole work day on live before, but I got to get home because I'm hungry. So I'm going to sign off, but I would definitely be back. We're going to have other items that we're going to show, but some of these same items will come back out the next time I do just a demonstration of what you can use with our sublimation paper. So just to close out, you can click the shopping bag at the bottom. What you're going to find there right now is our sublimation paper, all sizes. We carry 8.5 by 11, 8.5 by 14, 11 by 17, and 13 by 19. So all of the 4 US sizes. So we don't have like A4, A3, like all of those. So we carry the standard US sizes, 8.5 by 11, which is letter, 8.5 by 14, legal, 11 by 17, tabloid, 13 by 19, super B. Okay, there are some codes and discounts available, so you can take advantage of those. I know one of our first sales, they got the 11 by 17 for just $16. So definitely check out whatever codes and coupons that TikTok has available. And then you have our heat tape. You can buy individual sizes. We have a bundle with 1/2 inch and 1 inch. And then the incredible bundle comes with all 6 sizes, from 1/2 inch all the way up to the 6 inches, like 83.65. So if you can get it here and get it for a discount, definitely let that be your first purchase from us. If you don't need the paper, get the tape, get that half off or 40% off, but you get 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch, and 6 inch. It's the ultimate, it's the incredible tape bundle, and it will have all of the sizes, okay? All right. So thank you guys once again. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace. All right. Hey, people, I'm about to go. But, normally I actually end y'all first and still be on TikTok. But I got time to TikTok shop. Don't get me wrong. TikTok shop is cool. But, baby, all of the rules and restrictions, if you spend too long and don't show a product, you'll get a ding, you'll get a violation, you'll get all this stuff. Like, it's cool. It's definitely going to help the business. But, baby, it's a lot of rules. It can be very, very helpful if, like, some people, when they're doing the TikTok shop, like, they're just doing, people who sell the wigs or the unbrush and, like, books and stuff. It's easy for them just to kind of talk on that. But when it comes to the paper, like, you have to be able to tell people what the paper does, what you can use it on. You're not supposed to mention products, which I don't know if it's just you're not supposed to mention them in general, or you're not just supposed to mention them. Like, if you're saying you can buy them, like, you can't direct them, which makes sense. Like, they don't want you to direct people off of their site. They want them to complete the purchase on TikTok. So you have to be mindful of what you say and how long you go without mentioning the products that's in your shop. You have to be very, very careful with that, because you can get violations and they can stop you from using it and whatnot. From my understanding, they give you a couple of chances. If you violate, But if you just like blatantly just violating and just don't care, don't mind my, yes, the table, this is where I was pulling everything from. Don't judge me. It's very, very junky right now. But being the fact that so many people are consuming content on TikTok, like it is beneficial to businesses. Like I will say that it is quite beneficial to businesses because people are consuming so much content on it where it's almost like in Amazon. Like you can get a little bit of everything on TikTok Shop. All types of vendors are on there. So it's basically one big marketplace. The downside of it is you basically are working for TikTok. You don't have really access to the customers. They are TikTok Shop customers. Oh, why am I taking this off? They're not your customers. So you have to be very creative about how you keep in contact with them. This is where things inside of your packaging can definitely help and benefit you. I will say those who purchase on our first day, when they get their package, they're going to see a nice little surprise in there. They're going to see a nice little surprise in there. Those who purchase on the first day, that you're able to do giveaways to increase engagement and things like that. You have a little bit more control. If you have an actual business that you're registering, they allow you to have 200 sales per day. But if you don't and you're just self-employed or like just a sole proprietor, you only can sell up to 100 units per day. They want to make sure that you're not overwhelmed. Although even if you have an LLC, if it's just you, you can still be overwhelmed. I don't think they realize that, but hold on. So I will tell you when it comes to TikTok Shop, because TikTok themselves are offering discounts, they legally can't like, okay, well, you're offering a discount, I wasn't, to where they don't pay you the full amount. How long have I been muted? Did I just mute? I think I muted when I came over here to clean up this table. So y'all know I'm not your average like instructor. I don't use the word coach. So everything that I do, although it's going to benefit our business, I'm figuring out how it's going to benefit you guys because I'm teaching you to use this. Like, why sell you paper and say, hey, you can build a business off of this? But hey, I don't know how you're going to build a business off of it. I don't know how you're going to get sales. I don't know how you're going to market. Like, all I'm going to do is just sell you the classes. I'm going to sell you the ink and the paper. I'm going to sell you how to create designs like this in Silhouette Studio or any software. That doesn't help you guys any if I just teach you that and I don't at least have some information on how you can sell these items. So if I'm telling you, learn this technique, learn this process, start doing sublimation so that you can make money. How can I say that you're going to make money if I'm not making money myself in it? So although, TikTok Shop is going to be beneficial for us, I want to really see how it's going to be beneficial as a whole, so where, all of us can eat from it. I want those who are buying our products, if you're taking our class and stuff like that, and I know a resource where you can make money. Now, I can't help you. I can't give you like this magic formula because it goes up and down for me. Like those numbers fluctuated. I go on some shops and there's hundreds and thousands of people. I mean, I had sometimes like 70, 80, sometimes 40. Some of it was probably because somebody shared it and they were being nosy because they were in a group saying that I was crazy for saying using the oven. Y'all saw the person that came to me and told me about their doctorate degree and VOCs and all of that. Okay, they use 3M. I seriously doubt they are throwing on a 3M mask every time they're submitted. That's a bunch of bull-ish. Okay, but maybe they are. I'm not going to say that they're not. But they want to come and throw their doctorate. Well, what type of doctorate degree do you have? Why does it matter? The science behind it speaks for itself. So people are going to come and they're going to say stupid stuff, whatever, but I'm not going to let that stop me. I know what is to be true. I know how our product works. Now, if they're using a different brand of paper, they're using different things that's causing it to smell even more. That's on them. They won't know the difference until they actually try the paper. So I'm going to deal with people that are like that, but it's worth it. I'm still going to do what I do because it helps more people than it hurts people. And I want us all to kind of get this money, okay? If y'all using our products, I want it to be, financially. If you are somebody that's doing this for business, if you're somebody that's just a crafter, I do want you to not waste all of your money on craft supplies. And, you can just craft and you can make gifts and stuff and make them more cost effectively. But if you are a business, I want to, you to be able to do things and you to be profitable in what you are doing. So I'm testing it out. Y'all know I look at the inner workings of everything. I have even researching things. He wasn't too happy about it. But I have him researching and taking notes. I'm going to be going through all the terms and conditions, like all the things you can and cannot do. Because although they have it written, sometimes some people can't sit there and just read all of it. So if I can gather that information and I can present it in a way where it's going to be easier to digest because of like live content or just visual context, and then I'm putting it into perspective for how it actually affects you, I think that's going to be a good thing. So, we're researching it in and out, like through and through, we're researching it. Okay. So I will be able to give you guys more insight on this whole TikTok shop. But I would say don't wait too long because we don't know how long they're going to be doing it the way that they're doing it now. Their platform has changed so much. They may not even have TikTok shop a year from now, 6 months from now. Before they were one where it was a lot of like dance stuff and all these different things that was like for young folks, and it's evolving and changing all the time. So we don't know what's going to happen. Take advantage of it now. Although I don't do sublimation, I appreciate this live. Thanks again. What do you do again? Because I am trying to do more of the paper crafting and HTV and just the designing. So y'all let me know what type of content you need. Hey, princess. Woohoo! We got some orders from today's live. Yes. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. We got some orders from today's live. 4 minutes ago, 11 minutes ago, 4:18. Yes. Wait, did even process these orders already? Oh no, that one wasn't done. Okay, I was gonna say, golly, he fast. I'm like, why is he up working? All right, y'all. I am out of here. Thank you guys so very much. I shall talk to you guys later. Peace.